Welcome to another episode of Cannibal Killers, the series that delves into the haunting world of cannibalism and the macabre tales of those who've crossed the line into human flesh. Today, we'll journey into the chilling mind of Albert Fish, a man who has gone down in history as one of America's most terrifying serial killers and cannibals. So, buckle up, because this is going to be an unsettling ride into the depths of human depravity. Ready? Let's dive in. Born Hamilton Howard Albert Fish on May 19, 1870, in Washington, D.C., Fish's life began steeped in tragedy. Raised by a mother who eventually placed him in an orphanage due to financial hardship, Fish's early years were marked by severe physical and emotional abuse. The orphanage, purported to be a charitable institution for vulnerable children, turned out to be a brutal environment where Fish first experienced and began to associate pain with pleasure. As Fish himself later recounted, he didn't just endure the violence, he began to revel in it. By the time Fish left the orphanage at 9 years old, the seeds of his sadistic nature were already deeply sown. He did, however, enjoy a brief period of normalcy. Fish was around 25 when he married and fathered 6 children. By appearing to lead a respectable family life, Fish effectively created a smokescreen that hid his escalating deviance. Unbeknownst to those around him, Fish began indulging in increasingly perverse fantasies and practices. He victimized countless young boys, introducing them to a world of pain and terror too horrific for words. At the same time, he began engaging in acts of self-mutilation, driving needles into his own pelvis. But it wasn't just physical pain he sought. Fish also developed an insatiable appetite for human flesh. Enter Grace Budd, an innocent 10-year-old girl who became the centerpiece of Fish's most infamous crime. In 1928, Fish came across an advertisement placed by Grace's older brother, Edward Budd, who was looking for work. Fish, using the alias Frank Howard, expressed an interest in hiring Edward and visited the Budd family's home. An elderly gentleman with a seemingly benign demeanor, Fish quickly gained the trust of the Budd family. When he offered to take Grace to his niece's birthday party, no one suspected the sinister intentions that lurked behind his grandfatherly facade. This grim event marked the culmination of Fish's fantasies, an act so abhorrent it would forever mark him as one of the most horrifying cannibals in history. Instead of taking Grace to a party, Fish brought her to an abandoned house in the countryside. There, he tortured and murdered her before consuming her flesh over the course of 9 days. Fish later sent a chilling letter to Grace's mother, explicitly detailing the atrocious acts he committed. The letter contained such graphic descriptions that I'll spare the more gruesome details, but it suffices to say that it sent shockwaves through the court of public opinion and left Grace's family in unimaginable agony. But Grace wasn't Fish's only victim. Albert Fish meticulously selected his prey, often targeting the most vulnerable, children and people of color, whose disappearances were less likely to draw public outcry. The depravity of Fish's acts continued for years, each crime more head-spinning and harrowing than the last. Fish's horrendous spree finally came to an end in 1934 after his letter to Grace Budd's mother was traced back to him. When he was arrested, Fish confessed to the murders and identified 3 victims by name, though it's widely believed he killed many more. The arrest culminated in a highly publicized trial in 1935. Fish's defense argued that he was insane, recounting not only his cannibalistic tendencies, but also his self-mutilation and sadomasochistic behaviors. Despite the overwhelming evidence of his derangement, the jury found Fish sane and guilty, and on January 16, 1936, Albert Fish was executed by electric chair at Sing Sing Prison in New York. However, the question persists. Was Albert Fish a monstrous product of circumstances beyond his control, or was he inherently malevolent? While some sympathize with his tragic past, most of us would agree that his actions are unforgivable, a testament to the darkest pits of human nature. In cataloging the life and heinous acts of Albert Fish, we peel back the layers of a man whose name is forever etched in the annals of true crime. His story is a disturbing reminder of the capabilities that lie within the human mind, the lengths to which someone can go when freed from the bounds of morality and sanity. Fish's legacy continues to horrify and fascinate, a grim lesson in the unfathomable depths to which human depravity can plunge. As we wrap up this episode, one thing is clear. The story of Albert Fish is not merely one of horror. It's also a story of immense tragedy, for his victims and for what had become of a lost soul who fell through the cracks of society, only to become an avatar of terror. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll delve into yet another story from the dark corners of human history. But until then, remember to keep your curiosity piqued and always be aware, because the world is full of mysteries, some best left unexplored. Thank you for watching Cannibal Killers. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified about our latest uploads. Have a hauntingly good day, everyone.